Do you want to have AI employees? Now you can. But if you're Canadian, you better have your papers. Let's get to it.
Yeah,
I
you better
know.
have your papers.
Yeah. Oh, we got some stuff to talk about this week. Yeah. Um, before we get into the AI employees, which is probably the more realistically interesting, um, I wasn't really joking that much about having the papers because what we have in the news and now is I'm pretty sure it's by executive order because what else isn't nowadays?
Yeah.
Um, Canadians now in the U.S. for 30 days or more have to, and this is the way I heard it and read it, have to report to the authorities to let them know that they're there, how long they're going to be there, where they're staying. Um, this has eerily similar. I don't even know how to say it right. It reminds me of history in the past in which things didn't go well for anybody.
Yeah.
In the end, nobody won. So I'm just saying, uh, you get to the point now where you do that. Like really, 30 days, and you have to report. Basically, they're saying as a Canadian who's never broken the law and been to the States maybe hundreds of times, maybe they live almost half the year there. But now, if they're going to be more than 30 days, they have to walk into a police station and say, yeah, here's my name and ID. This is where I'm staying for the next several days.
It's ridiculous.
How many, do you know how many billions of dollars Canadians actually spend in the US? It's not a few hundred million because there's like over 1 million people, many of them very wealthy, and some of them are, multimillionaires and even a few billionaires that spend a lot of time in the US. A lot of them are never going to go back. Not under those conditions. I wouldn't. So,
Yeah.
you talk.
Well, it's. I honestly don't even know what to think about it. Honestly, I mean, all of this is getting really stupid in some ways.
Yeah.
I did read too where Ford of Ontario has backed off his promise to impose that 25% energy tariff.
No, I don't think he backed off that. Oh no, he did. You're right. I'm sorry. I was thinking of a different thing.
Yeah. So again, it's this little war of a, I don't even know what to call it. I honestly don't even know what to call it. It's just, it's all ridiculous. It honestly is all ridiculous. I don't.
Donald Trump thinks that he could just get away with a war of attrition against Canadians, but we actually have every resource necessary to sustain 3 times more people than we have in our country for over 1,000 years. So yeah, that's not going to happen. We have more fresh water than any other country in the world. We're good, but it's making us way more patriotic than we ever thought we'd ever be. So that's kind of cool.
This is true.
Yeah,
this is true. And it's kind of like the analogy can be applied to sports, country, whatever. When you get people that are banded together for a specific cause, for a specific reason, and they come together as a group in that singular, action of X, Y, or Z, it's hard to fight against that. I mean, even before Ukraine started having all of its, Western weaponry, they were giving Russia hell. Why? Because they were a united people.
Yes,
like, get the F out of my country kind of people, right? And you look
Yeah.
at where that's got it. Now we're what over 3 years into
Can,
this war that was
yeah.
supposed to be 3 weeks, according to
Yeah.
Putin.
Oh, hey, listen, let's talk about the same type of thing. Let's go back to Afghanistan when the Soviet Union went in there. Um, didn't go very well for them.
Right.
They never took over the country. They never got what they wanted. And then you can fast forward to the last war in Afghanistan, to which we had every good reason to go there, obviously. But it's not like they completely, you know, because as soon as they decided to leave, the bad guys just came out of the caves and took over again.
Right.
Um, but lots of countries do this. I mean, like there's obviously differences. Some countries just don't have the means whatsoever. Kuwait is an example. Poland in 1940, 39, I mean, um, obviously wasn't prepared for the German war machine, right?
Right.
But you can blitzkrieg all you want, but when you blitzkrieg a country the size of Canada, what are you planning to take over? Because how many soldiers are you going to send against an area that has over 13 million people living in this small stretch? Wait, you going to send your entire army into that one spot and hope the British and the German and the French don't attack you from the sea? Right. No, I have no idea what Trump has in mind or what he thinks he's going to get away with, but there has to be a point somewhere where someone in the government will say no and get backing from someone else and other groups. Because I mean, how did 4 years of this? Are you kidding? And it's going to get worse because I'm telling you, it's so obvious. Everything I predicted is coming true. And I told you he was going to do all of this shit. I even said he's probably going to try to take over Canada. And nobody believed me. And
Well,
this
he
is the.
hasn't. He can talk about it all he wants, and I think half the stuff he says
Yeah.
is lip
But
service
he's
because
firing
he
people in powerful positions so he'll have no opposition in 4 years.
oh I know what he's doing.
He'll
I see it every day in
yeah.
my media.
And
I know what
he's
he's
doing
doing.
all of this because he wants unrest. So in 4 years, he can say, I can't, there's too much unrest. So we're going to have to call martial law. No election. Bob's your uncle. How do you think North Korea got like that? Well, not quite like that, but still.
Yeah,
Right?
I just
How do you think Putin came into power? He basically said, I'm the king, and well, that's not true. He just fudged his elections. But
yeah, I have a really hard time believing that the people of the United States are going to allow that to happen, to where they're going to basically allow somebody to be a dictator
it's
or and
yeah.
what authoritarian ruler or whatever
Right.
you want to call it. I don't. You can call it whatever name you want. I don't really care what name you want to call it. It's somebody who just thinks he wants absolute power. Whatever you want to call it, doesn't really matter
Well,
because it's not. It's just I don't care who votes for him. They're not wanting to be enslaved, and I think that's the way they're going to look at it. And I just don't see that happening. I really
yeah,
don't.
except the problem is they can't really do jack shit unless some branch of the armed forces breaks off. If, let's say, 4 states band together and they have enough military forces that agree to accept their authority that they can break off, then all of a sudden he's going to be like, oh, we're going to send people over there and force you back. Inevitably, you're going to get some of the other branches again, or a couple other states go, no, 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 we can't let you do that. Now you're talking
Right.
about going in and bombing our own people, and they're joined forces. But that's a long drawn out thing that you have to actually have happen right now. Every single member of your Canadian, so apparently there's no difference. Of your American military is still bowing down to the president of the United States, who, unlike in Canada, is considered, not considered, but is the commander in chief.
Now, bowing down is the wrong word to use because they're being soldiers. They gave an oath to, defend.
No,
Okay,
you're
so
right.
bowing down is the
Yeah.
wrong word. That's
You're right.
incorrect.
That's the wrong word. That's the wrong term in this particular case.
There's a lot of people
Um,
that don't agree
yeah.
with him, but still have the respect for the office and the country.
That's exactly
to do
what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
that's my point. They're doing their duty as they promised and swore to do so. But at what point do you actually have to go, this is not what I was sworn in to do, was to defy my entire country and enslave the people who entrust me to protect them.
Right,
There's
and that's
nothing
why I
they
don't
can
think
do
it's
about
going to
it
ever. I don't think it's
unless
going
they
to ever
have
get there.
commanders that tell them to do different. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I just don't think it's going to get to that point. I really do. I mean, it's so, in my mind, it's so far fetched. I know you say,
Yeah,
oh,
that's
it's not, but I just understanding, where I've lived my entire life,
Yeah,
and
I
the
understand.
ideology that
Yes.
the people of the United States have. I just don't see that coming to
Right.
fruition.
And I'm
I
pretty
really
sure
don't.
that's what some guy named Hans Schmidt said in 1937. So I don't see it happening. Nine.
Oh well, I'm not going to compare us to that.
You're not. I'm not comparing you to it. But I bet if you saw some real color pictures of you know who, he probably was little orange too.
Yeah, we can
Let's
color
move
grade
on
anything
because
we want.
honestly, there's so much emotion. And the one thing that, as a Canadian, I have to remember is that, as upsetting as this is to Canadians, there are Americans pulling their freaking skin off their bodies. They're so upset about what's going on. I'm exaggerating this, of course, but I mean, I don't mean that literally. But uh, it's a, well, forgive me for saying it this way, but it's a shit show.
Yeah.
It's a big, snafu, foobar shit
Yeah.
show. So,
Yeah, and whether you're Canadian or American, you just have to remember you can only control what you can control, right? So try, people out there, I'm sure there's a lot of people that have high
yeah.
levels of anxiety, that this is really creating a lot of physical and mental unrest in themselves. And I truly, honestly just want to say, look, you can only control what you can control. So take care of yourself, do what you can do. The rest of it's just really going to have to kind of play itself out. When you are able to vote, go vote, right? Go vote your voice. That's where you can make that difference. And just,
100%.
just take care of yourself.
You
Don't
truth there.
Wake up every day, go about your business, do what you got to do, take care of yourself, take care of your family, make whatever decisions you can make that might affect, change, and just live your life, because you can't worry about something that you cannot change. You cannot change what's happening in the White House, no matter how much you might want to. So
there is something to add to that, because that definitely the best we get. Vote, make your voice heard. But to add to that, if you're just getting into voting age now, don't just vote because that's how your mom voted and that's how your dad voted and that's how your friends are voting, or everybody on your block is conservative or everybody on your block is a Democrat.
Right.
Who is it that said it? I believe it's Jim Carrey. Yes, a Canadian, but obviously he's been living in the U.S. a long time. He's a dual citizen, so he is
Right.
an American. He's lived more than half his life there now. So, and he said, I think it was recently too. Oh my God, I'm going to forget how he worded it. Oh yeah, he said, voting Democrat or voting Republican isn't who you are; it's how you vote. And if you if anybody doesn't understand what that means, it means you don't have to be Republican to vote Republican. You can vote for
Right.
Republican because they have the policies you agree with, believe in, or it's a better option than the Democrats, or vice versa. And
Right.
in all honesty, if I lived as an American, I probably would have voted for Obama when he was running. Um, I probably would have voted for Reagan when he ran. So what does that tell you? Uh,
Right. Well, the thing is, you definitely need to educate yourself for sure, 100%.
yes,
Educate
totally.
yourself and develop your own sense of identity on this is what I believe and this is what I don't believe,
Yes,
and go vote that. I'll never ever criticize somebody like, oh, you voted that way because that's the way they believe. Then go vote it. If you
right.
just check a box because you're just checking a box because my mom told me so, well, you need to
Oh yeah,
educate yourself.
exactly.
You need to
And don't
educate
let anybody
yourself.
else tell you how you should vote.
Right.
Because if you don't believe in it yourself,
Right.
uh, then whether that person wins or not in the election, uh, in the back of your head, you're always going to be like, what am I doing? Be yourself
Yeah. Yeah.
and vote
Vote
for
your
what you believe in.
conscience, not your
Yeah,
party. you know.
yeah. But here's another good
So
piece of advice. Just because a politician says, I'm going to cut taxes, you can bet your ass it's not going to happen. Don't think that that's the thing. It does happen sometimes, but those are campaign promises. They're very rarely met. What you want to look for when you want to know who to vote for, if you don't care about which party it is, but the leader and what they're preaching, basically, then make sure that the platform that you're paying attention to, well, the stuff on their platform, is the long term stuff, not the stuff that they're claiming they're going to do in 3 weeks or tomorrow, but they have a plan for housing. If it's a local government, whatever, they have a plan for what they plan to do with the taxation system. If it's federal government, whatever,
right.
uh, it could be medical or Medicaid or something like it in the U.S. or whatever province you're in Canada. It could be to do with our health care. Like, if they had campaigned on giving us at least some free dental a few years ago, good chance they would have gained a lot more votes than they did. We did get that, by the way, but they never actually told us that in the campaign promise. But that's the kind of campaign promise that they say. If they say we're working on it, we're hoping we can put this together within a couple of years by the end of our first term. That's the kind of thing you vote for. Not,
But,
I'm going to create 4 million jobs tomorrow.
right.
Our economy is going to go up, not down.
Yeah.
There'll be no more drugs and no more fentanyl coming over the Canadian border, which there still is, by the way, from the U.S. to Canada. Thank you. We were going to move on like 10 minutes ago. I can't see
Yeah.
the time.
Yeah.
I was right, by the way. So,
Yeah. That's weird. Yeah. We're 20 minutes in.
okay.
But yeah, so yeah. Anyways, just take care of yourselves. Do what you got to do, and hey, if you really need some help, you need to hire some employees or buy some.
Segway. Okay.
You can rent some employees.
We should do
So
we should do a graphic when we're going to do one of those segues. So you do that and you go segue.
yeah. But so
I can
we
make
talk
one.
about a lot of AI stuff, and I've been last week or so I've been messing around with a new program, application, software,
Yeah.
whatever you want to call it. It's called Centra, Sintra. I've been seeing all over my not my Instagram, sorry, my X feed,
Oh,
and a lot of people talking about it, and so I looked into it, and they had a free trial, so I thought I'm going to test this out because it looks kind of cool, and it's
what?
really
What
based
about a
around.
Tesla?
I tested it. I
I know.
didn't
I'm
test
sorry.
anything. So it's really kind of geared towards. I mean, really anybody can use it, but they're kind of the reason why I say employees is they're tasking it as these chat bots that can do specific business type tasks for you.
Right.
So here, let me pop it up on screen so you can see what I'm talking about because it is
Okay.
pretty cool. I've actually had a lot of fun playing with it.
Rosie. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. um, so each one is like a specific like job function. You have
Why are they wearing spacesuits?
I don't know. That's the way the programmers.
All I
guess
can see
wanted
is
it.
Ellie in the museum with Joel. Uh, Sorry if I spoiled that for anybody, by the way.
Yeah. So it's each one has like a specific task. So you have,
Yeah.
Buddy is your business development. Cassie is your customer support and e-commerce, data analysis, email marketer, SEO, recruiter, copyright, sales manager, personal
Copyright?
development.
What kind of copyright?
I'm going to show you because that's actually used it. And Sochi does social media, and the social media one is really what I thought. Oh, that would be cool because if there's
Yeah.
like I can automate. I have so many different social media accounts that I manage between personal and the channels that I support and things like that. I thought, oh, that'd be kind of
Okay.
cool. Over here on the left hand side, they have these. So like this is the homepage where we're at, right? And then they have these power ups, and each employee, for lack of a better word, has like a special set of like power skills that like you can have them do. Okay.
Power
And then
skills.
you have some of them have automation capabilities like the social media. You can do, you can have it automatically, reply to comments on your Facebook, which is kind of cool. You set parameters on how you want it to reply, so you don't have to necessarily do that, which I think that's
Wow.
kind of cool. So that's pretty cool. And then they have this brain AI,
Brain
and
AI.
this right here is actually it's kind of works how. You know how in Gemini you started to be able to say, "Hey, I want you to remember my birthday, my favorite color, or, you remember conversations and stuff like that." That's kind of what this is. And you attach whatever social medias that you want. You can see here I've got my
Oh, okay.
Gmail,
Oh,
my
look at this.
Instagram, and it basically looks at your information and it understands like, oh, like because it'll tell me like I'll say, "Hey, I want you to write me this." Like, "Oh, I see that you're wanting to write a blog post for your cloud9tech.com blog site, and it deals with smart home technology, and you're wanting to write it about this hub and stuff. That's a great idea." And it's like it understands what you do and how you do it.
Well,
And
I have to ask you a question then. Would it help me with my Fiverr description stuff or whatever?
it's funny you mentioned that because let's go over here
Is it
into
that
chat.
funny?
Well, no, you go over here into chat history. Okay. And so
Yeah.
for example, I started out by saying, "Hey, write me an SEO blog post," and he gave me that. There's one in here though. Let's see. Oh, and see, so this is cool. So like, see where it says file saved to Google Drive. So it created this document for me, and then it automatically saved it in my Google Drive. I didn't have to save it. It said, "Oh, do you want to save this to your drive?" And I just said approve, and boom, it saved it. I didn't have to, and it formats it in the document and everything. It's really cool. There is one though that's, oh yeah. So see, this one here was, hey, I want you to draft me a UGC content creation contract for like when I deal with brands. Right. And it understood exactly what I wanted in that it brought out the formats that I have, the type of channel I have, the content I do. It really, I was like, wow, that's like, okay, thanks. And I just saved it.
Cool. Here, I will say this. I'm pretty sure you can do that with Gemini.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, you probably can.
Although I'm not saying this is not impressive, because you can be very niche with this, but you don't have to pre-program it to do it. So it's pretty neat.
There is one though I had that I'd said something about like, hey, I need you to yeah, that's not it. That said, rewrite this for my brand, want podcast style UGC with studio quality sound and natural blah blah blah. There was one I had where I said, hey, I need something for Fiverr. I said, I think this is it.
Okay. Speaking of which, I'm going to change my voice now so I can sound as if I were doing a...
Yeah, so see this right here, actually right here. This is like, it revised this, you know, to where I could post this and paste it right into my Fiverr description. Because I said, hey, I want you to rewrite this for a UGC gig. And see, it also says here, also, since you're expanding into Fiverr, I could help you create a strong seller profile bio that ties into your YouTube presence and smart home expertise to build credibility with potential clients. Would that be helpful to you?
Okay.
I said, that sounds good. Yeah.
So it would work for me, but not as well because I don't have all that extra channel stuff. But that said, it would do it.
Well, maybe it doesn't matter because, I mean, you still have to tell it certain pieces of information, you know? So it's not like, it doesn't take all the information. The more, so here's what will happen is like, I'll have it do something for me and then it'll go, hey, this is some new information. I'm going to save this to Brain AI so I can remember this for later when we're doing other things. I'm like, okay, cool.
Brain AI.
And it automatically saves the information into this Brain AI.
Well, yeah, so, Brain AI.
Yeah, so you can see like, and like, it does these, like you see the different colors. So I said here, show me the small rig S60 wireless mic. And I wanted to do a short video about it. And it's just like, it went out to the web and it pulled every single detail exactly the way it is read and listed it all out. And I literally was a copy paste. It's given me scripting. There was literally copy and paste scripting that I didn't even have to think about. I just told it what I wanted. It went out and researched the product for me, said, okay, here's what this product can do. And here you go. And it can actually create images too. It created actually some really cool images for some of this stuff. And I used it in, the post or whatever it was that I was doing. See, like that image right there, that actually, see what image, let's see. I used, whoa, stop. Okay. So I actually used this image right there. That's a really cool image and it fit really well with the video that I was creating. And that's a really cool image. So at any rate, it really has been a lot of fun really playing with it. So usually what I'll do is I'll just come in here and I'll say, hey, what's on your mind today? And I'll just say, hey, I want this. And then what it does is it goes, oh, I think Dexter is the best one to handle that query. Let me give it to Dexter. And it chooses which one does the task. That's why all those different colors, I didn't choose those. And then it'll even like in the middle of it, it'll say, hey, I see that we're going to be doing this. This part of this would be best handled by Emmy to send your emails. would you like me to have her create blah blah blah? And I'll say yeah, and so then it'll jump over to Emmy, and then it'll be, hey, I see you want to create an email about blah blah blah. And it's just like, it's really intuitive as to how it kind of moves through the different employees. You can manually go to each one and do it. And just like I was wanting an SEO optimized blog post, and it goes, well, I can create you a good blog post with, keywords and all that, but Xiaomi is your SEO specialist. So you'd be best one to handle an SEO campaign or strategy. And I'm like,
I think that's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, and it gives you ideas. So like you can come in here and says, oh, optimize your TikTok profile for growth. Yeah, that's cool. You just hit the heart to like it. Design your TikTok video template style. Yeah, that's cool. So you can come through here and like have all these different ideas that it gives you on a daily basis. And then you see here where it asks questions. So you can come down into here and answer specific questions on this guide right here. And that's how it learns how and what you want things to do. So I don't necessarily think you have to have like big social media stuff where to pull from, because there's a lot of very detailed questions that you can write very specific answers for, so it can really understand how you want to, how you want to work. So it's really cool. I've been having a lot of fun with it. They did extend my trial, which is really cool. So I got a couple months to play with it. I've been using it for scripting. I've been using it to, rewrite some blog posts, images for the thumbnails of the videos. And it's actually done really, really well. So I've been actually really surprised at how well it's done. Again, one of the things that's impressed me the most about it is its intuitiveness as to which employee AI should handle X task the best. And it truly does a really good job of picking the correct employee.
Yeah, I think that's the thing that I would like the best is just being able to do it, just to see it pick the right one and then be able to watch it do the good job. There's only one issue though. Hang on one second. Yeah, Sarah, Miss Connor, we're gonna need your help.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or Will Smith, whatever. Pick a robot movie or something. It's gonna get scary one day, but apparently Google's got. I mean, I don't really have much to say about it because I don't know anything about it right now. But I quick brief mention about that Gemma. I think that's what it was called.
Yeah,
that they talked about. But I believe that's for people that are like way above what we do, and they have. I think it's probably like the Gemini gems, but on a much larger scale. And I think that's also what they were talking about when they were doing what they had an article out, and they were talking about robots, and it was being powered by this Gemma. So they basically wrote this and told the robots they basically they put stuff in front of them and tasks to do, and they figure it out without being given the instructions. That's where I want to call Sarah Connor, because these are robots figuring out what to do without instruction.
right.
So, but on that note, I mean, there are self-driving cars that can figure out which way to go.
Yeah.
Yes, they're following a map, but they can also figure out that they have to take a different lane for various reasons, right? So,
yeah.
It doesn't necessarily mean
again, it's the old adage that I go by, trash in, trash out. It doesn't matter if it's a web search, if it's an AI employee, it doesn't matter what it is. Right. If you give it shit, it's going to give you shit. So,
okay. Well, you know what? I like to do things the old-fashioned and manual method. So if you could do me a favor and hit the show and stream button on the one that I put down, because I got to go in here and press the button. Just tell me when you put it up on the screen.
It's up. It's up.
In a world where algorithms whisper and borders blur, two nations divided by a line, united by a signal. Two voices, one conversation, dissecting the digital age. United we stand, divided we podcast.
Hopefully that didn't go bad like it did on my end.
Well, I think because it's streaming it from YouTube, it looked like it's probably a little choppy because we're obviously
It
in the middle of,
hiccuped.
if that was on your
Yeah.
computer playing, it would have probably played a little bit smoother.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. I'm just saying because it was. I think it
Yeah.
it hiccuped a bit. I wasn't sure if it was just on my end or if it was everybody, but yeah. That was like pausing for a station identification.
Oh, is that what that was supposed to be? I thought you had like a very specific purpose, like you were going to talk about something.
No, I literally just wanted to show that off for a couple of seconds.
Oh, okay.
That's why. I'm proud of the work. I'm sorry. Because, like I said, I want to get into voice acting and basically voiceovers. So I got to do my deeper voice. Oh, speaking of which,
Oh, that's
the
right.
Audio
Yeah,
Technica
you didn't mention
AT 2040. And yes, it's a much cleaner and much nicer sound. However, the new audio interface I purchased is going back to Amazon. Having said that, I do want to mention one other thing because, Canada, United States, sports, hockey, your team is on like a 17,000 game win streak. Like I said,
Okay.
you can be, they're not going to win. They're going to get. What if they won four in a row now? Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No, they haven't won 4 in a row.
Oh yeah. Are you sure?
Yeah,
You
I'm
sure?
pretty sure. Mm-hmm.
Is it 3? And you're gonna say no, it's not 3.
No,
either,
it could be 3. I think it's 2, but it doesn't matter. 2, 3, 5, 10.
No.
It doesn't even matter. They're not in the. They're going nowhere. They're dead. They're dead.
I'll tell you why it matters. It matters because they just keep winning. Okay, Predators 6-3 over Bruins. Predators 5-3 over Kraken. Predators 3-2 over Blackhawks. Predators 3-2 over Sharks. How many in a row is that?
Oh, that's okay. So 4.
I
Not
said
5.
4.
No, you said
The
5.
Jets haven't won 4 straight games. I think they might be on a 1-game win streak right now.
No, they've
Let's
won
see.
the last 2 games because they beat.
Are you sure about that? Because I remember them losing like 57 in a row not long ago. Okay, let's go back a bit. Jets win. Jets win. Jets win. Jets win. Jets lose to the Predators. Then they lose to the Flyers. Lose to the Islanders. Oh, then they beat the Flyers and the Devils. But then they lost to the Hurricanes and they won 1 whole game in a row against the Rangers by a measly 2-1. Highest scoring team in the league, and they can't get 3 goals in a game.
And do you realize that
I'm not jumping off the bandwagon? I'm just upset.
You're still like tied for first place, so I don't even
tied. We were in first place before.
It doesn't matter. We're tied for last place. Like the last place team.
You were third worst.
The second to last place team.
Win streak.
We could barely beat them. We barely beat the Blackhawks. The Blackhawks 2-1.
Yeah, but you kicked
second
the
to last place
team. Jets.
That was a lucky win. That was a lucky win.
I wasn't lucky. You beat the shit out of them. See, I'm saying that again, right? That's a good word for today. Anyways,
there's a lot of shit flying around today.
Usually people argue about their team being better. We're having an argument about who played worse recently.
Well, I just look at the standings, and the standings speak for themselves. I don't have to say anything. It's obvious.
Listen, in case anybody's wondering, this is just unfortunately been building this way for the last couple of years. It used to be we would always be teasing each other over whose team was better not worse. And, and it was a lot of fun. And of course, 2017-18 was the best when the Preds finished first, the Jets finished second. They played each other to 7-game series. That was a great year. I loved it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's when they're competitive, it is fun because we always flip flop back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and you can do a little razzing. There's no razzing to do because
they also used to play each other like 5-6 times in the season, but then they changed the format and last year they played each other twice. This year only 3 times or something.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous. They're in the same division. Yeah, right? They play Edmonton more than they the Preds.
Yeah. Well, and like I told you the other day, Kenny and I both are, we are rooting for the Jets to go all the way. That's our number 2. It's always been my number 2 for a long time.
Yeah.
Especially when the Predators are completely out. There's no way they're making playoffs. There's no way they're going any further than the golf course.
Yeah, it's unfortunately true. Which is too bad because they would be my number 2 to root for. And unfortunately, I don't have a number 2. But then again, the Jets got Luke Shin, and I think he's going to do better than some people think he's going to do.
Oh, Luke Shin's a solid player. I mean, I don't have anything against him. I think he's a very, oh yeah, he is a very, very solid, hard hitting.
Yeah,
doesn't score a lot, but doesn't need to score a lot. I mean,
he's no not Dustin Byfuglien or anything like that, but he can knock you on your ass or knock you off the puck or both.
Yeah, right? he doesn't take shit, and he doesn't put up with anybody giving his teammates shit either. So
he didn't even put up with it when he was young in his first year or two. What was it? Toronto he started with, I think.
I don't remember.
Yeah, and he was just young and everything. Oh, this guy's got some talent, blah, 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 blah. And he'd get knocked on his ass. But then 5 minutes later or 2 or 3 shifts later, he'd come flying up and he wouldn't knock the guy down, but he'd knock him off the puck. And people were like, this guy's wiry fast. And then, of course, he just kept getting, better and bigger. So...
Yeah, well, there's been a few times where there'll be another team, and some dude will he'll hit him, and then the other guy will turn around like he's about ready to drop gloves, and he'll be like, "Oh, it's Luke Shin. Okay, yeah, see you later." I'm out because he knows he's going to get his ass beat if he gets into a fight with him because he's a tough fighter. I've seen him in several fights, and he does pretty well. Not often he loses one, so. Yeah.
Well, that's good.
I guess that the Jets is where all of our players go when they want to go play well because they can't do it on our
apparently team. Yeah,
because Niederreiter is still knocking it out of the park, man. He still is like super
he got a
solid.
Goal a couple of games ago too.
Yeah. Is he on the first? Is he on the second line or third line? He's on the third line. So yeah, I mean he's a good second. Well, he's a good third liner. I mean, he bounces. Yeah, he can play either one pretty well, no problem.
But yeah, as good as he has been with Ehlers, and he has been, Perfetti has been absolutely brilliant with him. Wait a minute, are they playing together on the second line? I think they flip flopped a couple of times because of somebody's injury or something. So he might be on the second line still. I've kind of
he's solid. Me and Kenny all the time. We're like, man, we should have never traded him. I mean, and just like same with Duchesne, Matt Duchesne. We should have never. I mean, they did Duchesne dirty. I do not like the way they did Duchesne.
Dirty.
They did.
They doggone did him dirty.
And you got to
do that with a real thick accent when you say that.
Yeah,
they did them dirty.
Apparently, Marchessault, Forsberg got his 25th goal last game. So, I mean, he's
got 25.
Way off the mark. He's way off the mark because he was 48 last year.
That's what I'm saying. Number. It's not even a good year. No. And he's playing on one of the worst teams who are not helping him do shit. And he still has 25.
Yeah, he
That's a
just hit
mark of a
25.
very good player. Seriously. I
He
also he's in
is,
his
and
twilight years. Let's face it. Right,
he
so.
the one goal he scored in that last game was a true goal scorer's goal. I mean, watching the replay, you're just like, holy shit! How did
Over
you
the
hit that?
shoulder, top corner.
Oh yeah, it was a roofie that he had about this much room to get the
Yeah.
puck through, and it was just like it was
Well,
like a
as soon as you
bullet.
said true goal scorer's goal,
Yeah,
there's like a few in mind. A 5-hole is not technically one of them, unless the
no.
5-hole's this big,
Well, yeah,
which you've seen like Mario
yeah,
Lemieux, Wayne Gretzky, and Ovechkin do. But very few other people can do that. Although Scheifele has done it a number of times, I will say. But
yeah,
yeah, that over the shoulder, whichever side hole this
yeah,
big, that's a
yeah,
goal scorer's goal. That's the kind of thing that used to see Forsberg do probably 20 times in a season out of the
yeah.
40 goals he scored.
And when you watch the replay, you 100% know. You're like, oh, he just got lucky. No, because you can see him. He is like eyeballing. He's just like, and he's got a wrist shot, man. That just like,
Well, yeah.
so it's yeah, it was intentional,
Well, do you
100%.
know what? Do you ever notice, like, if you watch Kyle Connor play, the times where he scores the goals when he's coming up the right side and shoots opposite side top corner, that's very much a Forsberg thing in Forsberg's younger days. That's how
Yeah,
Forsberg used to score goals a lot, like 10 years ago.
yeah,
He'd be flying up the wing, opposite side of the net, over the Glover, blocker, whatever, depending on the goalie,
right.
uh, into the top corner. And you're looking at the replay in regular speed first, and you're thinking, how did he beat him on that side? And only when you see it in slow motion can you see that the goalie's going like this and the puck's going like that. And you're like,
Yeah,
what?
yeah,
He was lucky.
yeah.
No, he was aiming.
Right, yeah, yeah.
But
It
yeah,
was skill for sure. So
yeah.
yeah, maybe what I was saying to get at all that is apparently March or so, and Stamkos has picked up. He's gotten some goals.
Yeah. Well, he
Um,
scored yesterday, didn't he?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The game before that, I think he got a hat trick. So I mean,
Oh, nice. Okay.
he's coming along. But my understanding is all these top guys are like, they're like, look, this season sucks. Let's get our shit together in the off season. Let's come back next year and let's like
Are any of
dominate.
them
Like,
free agents?
no, they're all under
Oh,
contract for the
okay.
next 2 or 3 years.
Okay. I
So,
was gonna say you're gonna lose them all and start from scratch again.
yeah, no, because
Um,
when Trotz signed him, he signed him for like 2, 3, 4 year contracts.
so he wanted to make
Um,
sure he was going to get him for at least long
yeah,
enough for a solid build.
yeah,
And
and
I'm sure he was thinking originally that it wasn't going to be a rebuild, but a build.
yeah,
Unfortunately, you got to rebuild it entirely now. But that's honestly entirely because of the stupid trades over the last 3 years that the Preds have made.
yeah,
Letting guys go. And I'm not talking about the guys that walked away and signed elsewhere, but the
right,
stupid trades. Like, thank God they're dumb, because Niederreiter, thank you. But
right.
what a stupid freaking move on the part of the Preds. Why? Who did they
Yeah.
get for him?
I don't even remember. It wasn't anything
See,
notable.
you
I
know
don't
it's a
even
shitty
remember.
trade if you don't even remember.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
oh my
again, I
God.
bring up the Duchesne deal. Duchesne went to Dallas, and he's been Duchesne in Dallas. Just like, I mean, he
Yeah,
is
of
a
course.
solid 20, 30 goal scorer. That's a very good hockey sense player.
And who did they get?
I don't remember.
Exactly.
It wasn't anybody notable.
Who else? Who else?
But see,
Okay,
here's the
wait.
thing. Here's the thing. Wait a
Who
minute.
did-
We are carrying some of Duchesne's contract because they signed him for 8 years. Yeah, let that sink in.
Who who did they get They traded Luke Shin to whoever the hell. What did they get for Luke? You don't know, do you?
They got draft
Okay.
picks.
Oh, really? So Luke was traded
Yeah.
for a draft pick,
Yeah.
and then he was traded again for another fucking draft pick.
Yeah.
So
I
basically,
think we might have got a forward that's on IR.
who gives a shit?
Right. Yeah.
So
Might as well
basically, they could have skipped the line and traded straight to Winnipeg for the same fucking draft pick. Because
Yeah.
they traded for a draft pick. And then the team they traded him for traded to Winnipeg for a draft pick in probably the same bloody round. And probably a round that's later because Winnipeg's a better team. So, fuck.
Yeah. And of course, they traded Nyquist too. Gus Nyquist got traded.
Oh, I just remembered. Luke was the second trade of the day for the Jets. And that draft pick that they traded for is 2026. So they already are expecting to be a top 5 team next year. Obviously, you don't finish in the top 2, which is pretty much where they're headed, and then expect to not be top 5 at least the following year. So why? That makes no sense.
Yeah. So okay, I had to look this up because I remember there was something else. Tommy Novak.
But wait a minute. You know what I'm saying, right?
Does the name Tommy Novak? Do you recognize that name? I mean, he came up from Milwaukee.
Yeah.
He's only been up in the NHL a couple of years. He's not bad. I mean, he's still progressing, but he's an average, fourth liner, third liner, right?
Okay.
So they traded Shin and Tommy Novak to Pittsburgh for a 4th round draft pick and a Michael Bunting who happens to be on long-term IR.
Oh, I think I read that somewhere.
He's supposed to be healthy next year, but again, this is definitely
anything of note.
I don't know. I didn't even know who he was. I had to look him up.
Okay, well, listen. Let me go back to what I was saying before. They trade to get Luke Shin, and they give up a draft pick that's probably higher up, and
they give up.
Then trade Luke to Winnipeg to get a draft pick that's going to be one of the last draft picks of the draft.
No, we got a 4th round pick for him. No, we didn't give up a 4th round pick.
Not you. I'm talking about the team they traded to.
Oh, I thought you were saying we
that was just stupid. But here, here's the thing. If Nashville had traded directly to Winnipeg, they would have got a 1st round draft pick. I believe it's 1st round. Yeah, because it's Luke Shin. It's either 1st or 2nd round. Anyways, it would have been far higher up. And so that was kind of, let me face it, that was stupid.
Yeah. So see, Gus Nyquist, we traded Gus Nyquist to Minnesota, which Minnesota has several of our old players. But for Nyquist, we got a 2026 2nd round pick. So you can tell by all the trades he's done has been for mostly draft picks and a few potential players. You can definitely tell that Trotzy's mind is, I'm stacking my cards for trade or trade 100%. For draft. I'm stacking my cards 100%. For the draft, and I'm going to, we have a core of people that are going to be here. Yossi, Forsberg, Marchessault, Stamkos, of course, UC Saros is signed for long term.
Yeah.
So we have a core group of people that are solid players. Yes, they're not in their prime, but they're still very good players.
They got experience.
And he's going to try to build around that with some younger talent that he's going to maybe draft or use the draft pick to acquire somebody that's currently
use some of the draft picks to acquire some talent and some of them to actually develop. But I think that they have enough good core quality individuals right now that I would be really shocked with just a couple of moves, probably during the draft. Um, and then next year, they finish, worst case scenario, middle of the pack. They make the playoffs above the wild card. Probably like third place, though, not first. But they still have experienced guys on the team that were there in 2018.
Yeah.
Where they finished first overall.
Yeah.
That team, there's no, I still don't get how they fell apart so fast. Because the following year,
it's
they
not,
were still
they didn't
good.
fall apart. They were never together. Like, it started out bad and just stayed bad. Like, it never was good.
What do you mean started out bad? In 2017, 2018,
Oh, I thought you meant this year. I thought you were talking about
no.
this year.
I'm going all the way back. I don't know how that fell apart so fast.
Oh, right. Yeah, yeah. Well,
because the very next year, they weren't anywhere near as good. Well, in all fairness, neither were the Jets, and the Jets finished by far second place. Right. But so it's kind of weird that both of them kind of fell apart the following year. But they were both still very much in the race for top 5 until the end of the season that next year. And then they just both got ousted in the first round. Dallas, I think it was that one went on to win the cup. And the Blues. Which pissed me off because they were like dead last at the halfway point.
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah. If you would have told me in the beginning of the year that I'd be sitting here talking about how shitty my team is and we would be third from the bottom all year long, I would say you were absolutely crazy. No, I literally
went into at the beginning of the year your team was going to suck this year and they're probably going to be dead last. I can go back on my phone. I'll show you the animated GIF that says dead last.
Yeah. Coming into that first game, the first 5 games, really, I was like, man, we made some awesome signings. We have like a solid core of players. We should easily be fighting in the top 5, top 6 all year. I mean, I didn't ever think we would drop below that wild card line, to be honest with you. I thought we'd always be in that top 8, bouncing around.
That you were going to kick the Jets' axe because, you got these like big superstars that you either had at the beginning of the season or you required before Christmas kind of thing. But yeah, that kind of fell apart pretty quick.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, I was just sitting on the edge of my seat going, can we win 18 in a row? No, apparently we're going to stop at 8.
Oh, wah.
And then the Jets lost 1 and won only 7 the next time.
Yeah.
Then they went on that lousy 8-game win streak in the middle of the year. And then they went on that lousy 11-game winning streak and weren't good enough to beat Edmonton's 16-game winning streak.
I don't think you've dropped out of third place the entire year. I think you've been like 1, 2, 3, mostly 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2 all year.
Well, actually, let me correct you. They've mostly been 1 tied. That short stint where they dropped into third place, they had 3 games in hand, and then so they've actually been first or tied for first probably 95% of the season.
And I'm pretty sure you go back in your little text message there, and I told you in the beginning of the year your team was going to be dominant this year. You're like, no, they're not. I'm like, yeah,
you said my team's going to kick your team's ass, and I said, yeah, you're probably right.
Well, I might have said that in the very beginning because I actually believed it. But after about 5 games, I realized that was a false hope. Because we were going straight down and we haven't stopped.
Well, if you don't mind my saying so, go Jets, go.
Yeah, go Jets, go. Because there's nothing, hey, I hope you get a good par, Preds. Hope
Just remember, all hockey players, if you're Canadian and you're playing for a U.S. team and you're off for a month, have your papers.
yeah.
Don't take your vacations there for the entire
That's
summer
insane.
unless you got your
Yeah.
papers.
That's right.
All right.
Well, so yeah, that's it. And hey, look right there. Make sure you do that. Subscribe now.
Yeah, that's what he's trying to say, by the way. Don't gotta put some context into that. We gotta subscribe now.
Yeah. So we'll you probably those two. I did a little changing, a little cleanup, a little cleaner.
Yeah.
He's got a new mic, sounding better. So we're getting our stuff back in
Right.
order, and yeah. So I'm sure we'll have some more crazy shit next week.
More changes to make.
Yeah.
And so I'll just say from my end, I am Lionel, and I am in Toronto, Canada.
And I'm Robert from Nashville, Tennessee, and we'll see you next week. Peace.